Welcome back to the Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Nicole
Hello.
and Evie.
Good day.
And this is Threshold 502. It's interesting. I had an MGM logo at the beginning of this one. So
did I, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So there we go.
So I will make one comment, David, which is I feel like every time we do these streams together, I feel like you find it really hard to not say this is David from like Dial the Gate or something, and you have to remember that you're on a different show.
It doesn't consciously occur to me. What I'm doing is I'm exchanging the two of you announcing first.
I noticed. Yeah,
I've noticed you've done that. Yeah,
that's what I'm pausing to do.
The fact that you're able to do it, David, is shockingly good. So
thank
good job.
you. That was one of the quickest
also.
previously ons that there is.
Yeah, that was literally 15 seconds.
Yeah,
Lord.
So
Mackenzie is back.
Eric Schneider as Dr. Mackenzie. So we haven't seen him since season 3's Legacy.
Daniel.
And this marks his fourth and final appearance on Stargate.
Good, he's not very good at his job.
I believe kind of feel bad now. I believe he passed away like 2 years ago.
Oh, I feel
at the age of 87.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
So, leaving behind a remarkable 40-year acting career, and little side note, he was the only actor to grace all 7 seasons of The Outer Limits.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I want to note that when I said he was bad at his job, I meant the doctor was bad at his job.
Oh, I'm sure
actor.
Dr. Mackenzie was fired after this.
Yeah.
You don't see like Jack looking at him after the end of this scene or something and giving. You want to reassess your evaluation of Teal'c?
Yeah,
exactly.
He evaluates
he just
Daniel.
disappears after this once Teal'c runs down the hall like a banshee.
What did he say? Daniel was a paranoid schizophrenic during Legacies, and it's just like, nope.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, 2 strikes.
It's like, you got to stop, bro.
Yeah, he's not
Urias
cut out
Tosh
for...
said, did 2 or 3 different actors play Teal'c's wife over SG1 history? I think it was 2.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. Sally Richardson and one other.
Braytek's like the final test.
Marks the first time we're seeing Braytek since the events of the Serpent's Venom, where Terok falsely claims that Braytek had died.
Yep. Oh.
Also, in his blog, Joseph Malozzi referred to Braytek's intense stare down as his Larry David stare down.
Teal'c's really good at like just running through corridors and just pushing everyone over. What did he think he was going to do? He knows his base.
Yeah.
So we kind of hear the Zat opening before it's fired, when Braytek already had it open.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Oh, I love it.
It's about to get weird.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm doing?
Also, the physical symbiote prop doesn't quite match the CGI version.
Nope.
So there's a difference in the head shape and the body coloring between the two.
Stop holding me this way. Oh, it's too tight. You're too tight.
Mate, do you think he's squeezing it a little bit tight?
I'm sure, yeah.
I think so. Because that
Keep
could
him
just
from slithering away,
slither off, yeah. So, between the last episode enemies and this one, Stargate Command has transitioned from CRT to LCD monitors. Ooh. So it's a long time coming.
Ooh,
and this episode takes a walk down memory lane with flashbacks from 10 different episodes. And Tony Amendola regards this episode as his favorite.
This is one of my all-time favorite episodes. I'm so excited. So when I forgot to actually preface this, my boyfriend, he had never seen Stargate before, and obviously he was dating me. So I was like, early in our relationship, I was like, you're gonna love this, or we're breaking up. And same for Battlestar Galactica.
Wow. Okay.
And I didn't actually mean it, but obviously it's like a...
It would have, it would have meant something to you if he didn't enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain just how much it meant to me by doing that.
How does this associate with it?
This was the first episode I showed him because I thought it was one of the better episodes that showed the potential of Stargate. Yeah. So he could be fascinated by the Gould, the Jafar, Teal'c being this brilliant warrior, and the friendship between them. I thought it showcased Stargate so beautifully without spoiling too much of the plot.
Redemption is important. My favorite line in this episode is, "What have I done?"
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so excited.
And I had tears in my eyes when I first saw it. Yep.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing is that, so Children of the Gods is a good time, but in this episode you have the flashback of Children of the Gods. So when my boyfriend saw this, he was like, wait,
I like
Teal'c
how this episode
does that. It's so beautiful. And my boyfriend literally sat there and he was like, wait, so he used to be one of them and then did this? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, wait, when did he have that hair? I was like, oh, they went back to 1969. And he was like, I want to watch that episode. So
Yep.
that's how I got him.
Evie, do you have any Tony Amendola quotes from my interviews with him in this? Because I have a story to tell.
No, I actually don't. I didn't have a chance to listen to it.
He was either working on, I don't think it was Man from La Mancha, Don Quixote. I think it was Cyrano de Bergerac. And there was a scheduling conflict. And so they accommodated him for, I don't know if it was Threshold or another episode, but I mean, they really appreciated his work so much that they were willing to do that so that he could both do the play and come back as Braytak.
Wow.
Beautiful. He deserves it. He's such a phenomenal part of Stargate. Like, this kind of episode would not work without him as well.
He's like, he and Christopher Judge in this episode are just like incredible.
And in this episode, they shot some extra footage, but every scene that Braytak is in, every one of those scenes made it into this episode. And Brad personally oversaw the editing for the episode.
Oh, wow.
Candy Midge asked, I missed it, who wrote this episode? Evie, who wrote the episode?
So this episode was Brad Wright.
Yep.
And directed by Peter DeLuise.
We'll see that in a minute with the candles.
PD.
Yeah, it's a little bit down the ways.
Yeah.
So I believe that nurse that we just saw for a second there is played by Karen von Blankenstein. This is actually her first of 7 cameos from season 5 to 8. So she doesn't have as many acting credits as you'd think, but she served as a medical technical advisor on hit shows like House and the short-lived series
I think I actually
Saved.
knew that. I did know that.
Yeah.
That is a completely different symbiote than the one he was holding.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dr. Fraser has the authority to override the general's decision when it comes to patient care and well-being. So it must have required like a great deal of faith and courage for her to agree to Braytak's very unconventional methods.
Well, she admits she'll be resigning if this doesn't work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, this is like, this is an alien species we are dealing with, and there are different methods of doing things, and it's a brainwashing. It's not fully medical. So it can't be treated the way that Janet would like want to treat it. So it is such a
true, but like
situation.
They don't want to give him any pain relief or anything like that for the lack of symbiote.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not the only one who kind of interpreted that comment from Jack about Apophis being 99% sure like he's dead as a bit of foreshadowing that he might return again.
Yeah.
I think I remember hearing that for the first time and going, no, not again.
Sherman Victoria said, I liked that moment between Braytak and Janet. I do like that Braytak and Janet get some time together. It's nice to see Janet hanging out with everyone else. So, bruh, let's not.
Oh, boy.
One of my favorite things about this episode is seeing that Braytak was there in Children of the Gods. He just wasn't cast yet.
Yes,
Yep.
I love that bit too.
Great callback. Great retcon.
It was a great way to retcon him back in, but he was always there. In the background. Excellent. Also, hit this outfit. Slay, Braytak, slay. I love the way that they're doing this.
Yeah, you go.
No, you go.
I was going to say, I'm a huge fan of symbolism in TV and film. And I couldn't help but notice the feathers and beetles on Apophis's costume. Yep. So the feathers remind me of Icarus, who fell from the sky after his wings failed.
Too close to the sun.
Sort of similar to Apophis's fall in the previous episode.
That's a good
point. And it's
point.
interesting that he was defeated by the replicators, creatures who resemble bugs, just like the beetles on his collar.
Fair point.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah, it must be nice that they were like, hey, we're gonna kill you off finally, but guess what? It's okay. You're coming back in a flashback immediately afterwards. You're not out of a job.
Exactly.
So it must be nice that he still gets to come back as Apophis so much.
And I think I mentioned last week that I've been watching Better Call Saul. Yeah. And I really like that the flashbacks in that, as well as this particular episode, are like darker. Like the coloring is like off.
Yep.
Yeah. Really sets the tone.
Yeah, it does.
I think that's another
and you
reason
can
why I love
tell
this
that it's
episode.
not current. Yeah.
Yeah. This episode feels really cinematic. I think that's why I love the season 4 to 5. I see it kind of like a 3 to 4 parter because they all kind of go. They're all part of each other in some way.
Yep. This is the 4th of 4.
Yeah. And I think that this episode is just so excellent and cinematic and beautifully executed. I honestly think this is one of the best episodes of Stargate. And I'm really glad that it's Teal'c centric because we don't get to focus on him enough. So to have this episode be this good is such it must be great for Christopher Judge.
I love Daniel's line. What the heck was that?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Christopher Judge, in a Starlog magazine interview I was reading, so he said that this episode provided a deep dive into Teal'c's past and focused on why he chose to betray the Goa'uld, and the show hadn't explored his motivations before, despite knowing Braytak played a role in his awakening. Chris actually said that he was particularly satisfied with this episode and he felt it enriched Teal'c's character and made his future actions more meaningful. And he highlighted it as a standout moment for season 5.
Yep.
100%. And to have it so early as well is just I love this show. By the way, Urius Tosh did share that their favorite episode, the favorite Braytak episode was Keb. The one at Keb with Maternal Instinct.
Yeah.
Because it's his peak. Yeah, Braytak's tracking skills, no bounds. That guy can do anything.
Yeah. Also, I was going to mention just before, like, Braytak's dialogue, I think, in this episode is, like, perfect. It's brilliant. And, like, I am 100% on board with his unproven methods.
I think this is my favorite Braytak Teal'c episode.
Same.
Yes.
Yeah, they have so many good ones, but this one is so good because it really shows how, like, Braytak knows Teal'c and, like, knows this. And he believes in him. And, like, I love in season 10, though, when, like, Braytak and Teal'c finally acknowledge the father-son bond they have.
Yep.
It makes me cry.
Yes.
Yeah, so I hadn't really seen Braytak much at all before this episode, because when I was growing up, I watched some of season 1, so I saw him in that one episode in season 1, and then I saw him again here, and I was like, I don't know this guy well.
Yeah.
So I feel like to have this episode be like coming up as in such a pivotal point in my upbringing just goes to like this. The fact that this episode was one of my favorites as a kid and is still one of my favorites now just shows how damn good it is.
Yeah.
This is a great scene.
So cute.
It is.
Talks about and Jaffa biology here.
Yeah.
So we learn that Braytak symbiote will reach maturity in
Get that Tritonin.
2 years. Yeah. So this is the first time we've heard of this, and the events of the Changeling next season are kind of set at a really crucial point for Braytak, considering the timeline he's just given for his symbiote.
Within a year and a bit, they managed to get him the Tritonin.
Yeah.
Before, everything goes to hell. So,
I love his line here. Life for the sake of life means nothing. You have to do something. Otherwise, it's time to go.
Well, that is why I try so hard to do so many things that I want to achieve in my life. Like, I do my work, but then I have Stargate, like I have you guys, and I try to like fit as much as I can into my life, because I think, what is the point of just serving my work when I've got to serve myself too? You know?
Yeah.
Well, but life is more than just narcissism, you know?
Yeah.
There is a balance.
Yeah, there is a balance. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite lines from all of science fiction, all of it, is season 3, TNG's The Offspring. And Data creates a daughter. And he says, she says, what is my purpose for being? And he says, to contribute in a positive way to the world in which you live. And if that is not a great meaning for life, then I don't know what is.
So you actually bring up,
that
like,
is beautiful.
that's great, because it reminds me of is it Fran in Stargate Atlantis?
Yeah.
Because he's like, McKay's like, you're gonna die.
Serve your function.
Like,
yeah.
I'm serving my function. Like, this is the greatest thing I could do. It's like, yes, girl.
Yeah.
This is a great conversation here, because they're trying to establish that what you believe, you could not possibly believe.
Yeah.
The exchange between Daniel and Jack in terms of who should sit first is so funny.
And the Valar conversation.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't this guy come back in season 10 where he tries to make out with Valar?
Yes. So I was going to say it's David Lovegren as Valar. Right. This is his Stargate debut. So he pops up later as Daryl Grimes in season 10's Bounty and Kalor in Atlanta's season 5's Inquisition.
Yeah.
So fun fact, he actually kicked off his acting journey in 21 Jump Street. back
Yep.
in
Peter
1987. And he even had a small part in the 1993 flick Cool Runnings as a Swiss captain.
Interesting.
Hey.
Not seen it.
Yeah. You haven't seen Cool Runnings?
Nope.
I was gonna say, like,
it's one of the best movies of the early 90s.
Really?
It's so
Add it to the
good.
list.
It's
I was
so
busy watching
good.
Star Trek. All right.
By the way, when you made your comment earlier, Dave, where you were like, yeah, not just narcissistic options. When I say that about the time for myself in my life and doing that stuff, I just want it noted that I mean in my spreading the love of Stargate and the family friendship.
I didn't mean to get it stuck in your craw.
You did, so I'm correcting what I meant to make sure that people don't think I'm a monster.
Anyway, I was going to say, so I'm not sure if there's any fans of the TV show Frasier out there.
Yeah.
But Jack and Daniel's current conversation about Valar really takes me back to there's like an episode of it where Marty, Niles, and Frasier they're like watching Antiques Roadshow and they turn it into a drinking game with the word Valua.
Oh, was that before or after this?
Before, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Frasier aired a lot of episodes before, so yeah.
Yeah, so they could have done something similar with Valar. Turn it into a drinking game.
Interesting.
Love Frasier.
Yeah, me
My
too.
parents love it.
Yeah.
I think this is the second time that he's trying to say that he's good.
The way that Teal'c is just trying to be like, we're brothers, man. It's like, it's all good. And it's like, bro, we can smell the bull.
Yeah.
Like, Teal'c isn't this emotional ever.
Yeah.
Like he never like says things like this. Like he feels.
But he's never been without his symbiote either.
Yeah, he's being tortured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's been through so much crap that he you know, like Teal'c would never stoop to that. Like, you know, this is fake Teal'c.
Boombox voice, snake in the
There
head.
it is.
Oh boy.
Yeah, don't
Ooh,
make
that
him mad.
bulging bicep.
Yep.
Must be so uncomfortable to be wearing that neck thing. I feel bad for Christopher Judge having to like wear that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on quite loosely.
Well, it's very tight right there, but I guess because he's pulling on it. I love the way it cuts to the flashback here. It's so well done.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, in one of Joe Malozzi's blogs, he said that this episode was particularly harsh for Chris Judge. See, he had to endure the weather conditions during filming.
Yeah, this is on top of Grouse Mountain.
When they went to shoot the exterior scenes, they were greeted with an unexpected snowfall, which meant a very chilly experience for poor Chris, especially since he had to lie shirtless on the snow-covered ground.
Yeah, but look at his like pecs. Look how damn good he looks.
I know.
This is great.
This may be my favorite exterior from the show.
Yeah, I think so as well, actually. I think that this is such a beautiful shot.
With the fog. Oh my gosh,
yes,
it looks
with the
good.
fog. Yeah,
Stunning. Chris looks great as well.
Nature really turned it on. I was going to say Teal'c before said this is pointless, and I was like, pointless? Unlike Teal'c's chesticles, which are very pointy.
I love chesticles. Yes, thank you.
Great shot here.
Yeah. Honestly, like I don't know what on earth is going on, but this episode, I wish that there were more Stargate episodes with this level of cinematic lighting and you know, filming.
I think they just lucked out a lot with the weather.
I wish we had more snow planets in the show.
Yeah.
And this is a great reveal. He's testing the strength of Teal'c's belief in his god and his belief in his master. You cannot serve two masters.
Are there tears in Braytak's eyes, or is it just cold? Because it does look
probably
like
a little
they're
both.
like glistening a little bit in the bottom of his eyes.
So mine Anne has very large sensitive eyes, so when it's cold and it gets a bit breezy, she's just weeping constantly.
Yeah, that'd be me as well. Yeah.
Either way, it adds to his performance beautifully.
It does, yeah.
He gets to sit there with that warm thing on.
I think he had a towel on his back, but still.
What a guy. Poor Chris.
Oof.
I love how he calls him woman. It's just funny, even though this is a very serious episode.
So I think it's working.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's not true. You've questioned it
for years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just someone pushed your reset button.
Yeah. Dead.
False god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hit you with your own truth.
Here it comes. It's coming in a minute. Yeah, they can't. Yeah.
So this terrific. Is the first time we're seeing Drayak played by Brooke Parker since the season 2 episode Family.
Yep. I really love the way that she just like that Teal'c's like, do not temper me, and then she's like, you sit down and let me talk for a minute.
Yeah.
Like give as good as he gives, please. The last thing that I would want for Teal'c is like a power dynamic of him being like that, and then the wife kind of like submitting and just accepting. I think it's so good that he has someone as fierce as he is.
Yeah, as he's attracted to very strong women.
Yep. Yeah, as he should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's asking for advice. See, this is the Teal'c I love to see. And his wife is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stunning. Yeah.
I wish we had more of them together.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for Ishtar, but I'm sad to see her go.
Yes, I believe you did.
Not on purpose. Obviously delirious because he called her a woman.
Lockwood said as they were really in the snow, they put cotton in the hole that Teal'c was in, so his bare skin would not be on the snowbed. And they said that they did have doubles for the fall in the snow and the fight scene.
Ah, okay. Wow.
Still would have been cold though.
This is probably Janet's hardest season. She watches Teal'c go through this, and she stays up for days and days watching Daniel die.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, a season bookended by some pretty awful medical dramas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You talked about fabric velour.
Absolutely brilliant.
Something's happening. I would not sleep.
No.
I might close my eyes, but I would not sleep.
No. Oh, it's just, yeah, he just tries to use her compassion against her.
I feel kind of bad that she's on her own doing this.
Yeah.
She's got this.
Yeah.
She does. She stands firm. He tries to exploit her, but she stands firm.
Yeah, you're not going to get her, bro. You ain't getting her. Like what I said, it has to be warm on the set at the studio with those candles. Each candle is equal to about 75-watt bulb. Yeah.
Wow. So one extreme to the other.
Yeah. And apparently Christopher was ripping them the entire episode, so
Brilliant.
Yeah. They had to clear the room a few times.
God. So they were just talking about Sam's faith, and I saw some stuff on Reddit that was kind of interesting. So one person said that they thought it was strange that Sam never says that she's an atheist, as it would be the natural tendency for her character, but that somebody else pointed out that it's common for scientists and academics to hold personal faiths. So it wasn't unusual for a character like Carter with a religious upbringing to maintain those beliefs. And they noted that involvement in the Stargate program could drastically alter one's understanding of the universe, and it challenges long-held truths and assumptions. And this upheaval might lead even a logical thinker like Carter to experience doubt and turmoil, potentially causing her to cling to faith for stability. And that particular person argued that while some might expect some experiences to erode faith, they can also reinforce it. And therefore, it made sense that Carter didn't claim to be an atheist.
I can answer this one for you right now.
I know that
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead if you know it then.
No, you go.
My first interview with Amanda Tapping, one of my first questions I asked her was, does Carter believe in God? And Amanda said yes. And Carter prays.
Okay,
yep.
that's a bit of interesting insight to the character.
I did not that in particular, but I remember growing up, I used to always say to myself, I was like, well, if a scientist believes in science, then surely they don't believe in God. But then I did some research into that. I did some Googling, and I found that a lot of people who are scientists just found their own way to interpret their belief of God with all the knowledge they have.
There are a great many scientists who believe that the more information that we discover, the more the more we will find a connection between religion and science.
Yeah, and I do. I personally don't know where I sit really, because I'm always somewhere in the
That's
middle.
the beginning of wisdom.
Yeah, but I think that it's really important and nice that scientists who see kind of the truth in everything that we see can still have faith.
Yep.
So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because math brings more order to the universe.
Yes.
It is inextricably separated from our perception of the universe, which is routinely flawed. So if there is a mechanics, if there is mathematical truth, then there is structure. It's not just randomness. But that's just my belief.
That is a really
It's
cool,
interesting that we're talking about this in an episode that's talking about belief. So
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think it's an important part of the conversation. It's what Stargate does. It makes you think about belief.
Well, I was going to say that I think the writers kind of intentionally steered clear of like clearly defining a character's religious beliefs to avoid like alienating any part of their audience.
Yeah.
So like by keeping it kind of open-ended, they allowed viewers from like more diverse backgrounds to connect with the characters without that barrier of like religious affiliations.
But it's all, and also, you know, one of the I don't subscribe to the belief that, you know, in order for me to enjoy something, I have to see I have to see my exterior in the character being played. Lost is my favorite show of all time, and one of my favorite characters of the entire show is Saeed. I relate to Saeed so much.
Yes.
And he's Muslim.
Yes.
Yeah, because you know, religion, when you get down to it at the end of the day, you're all kind of not believing the exact same thing, but religion all kind of follows very similar themes and appreciations and understandings. And so people may have different religions and different faiths, but the fact that everyone believes in that and has that, it's a shared like connection, you know.
Yeah, like similar cause.
Yeah.
That was a great matte painting, by the way.
Yes.
It really was.
And this
my
is
favorite thing
connection to before Ra is dead. So
yes.
Ra has been heavily mentioned in this episode.
My favorite thing about this scene is the fact that this is Teal'c's moment to like
he's testing
to test this.
Yeah.
But the really sad thing is that later on he says he killed him. He went back anyway and finished the job.
But it wasn't his fault.
Well, it wasn't his fault, no.
Yeah.
I know, but it's just
he didn't
so
mean
dark.
to. But yeah, you're right. He does ultimately.
What he tried to help.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, he has to do what Apophis says.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, this guy potentially had a couple of years, you know, of some freedom between this event and when Teal'c killed him.
Really?
I don't think they really specify the time frame.
I felt like it was a few days.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Yes,
But I mean, either way, I think we can sort of safely say that Teal'c's act of freeing Valar was not just a turning point in his own beliefs, but it kind of set off like a bit of a domino effect, because he does also, as you might recall, liberate Delmor, Ragnor's father, after Apophis like ordered his death. And this like courageous move inspired Delmor to then talk to his son about how the Goa'uld were imposters, and that led him to sear off that seal on his son's forehead. So it's like
it goes to show just like how much like these small things can like lead to bigger things, like acts of like rebellion and overcoming bad stuff. It's like it's one small flame can set it all ablaze.
I didn't think it would work because I always thought, well, the Goa'uld have sensors, they're watching this from orbit, and then I realized, well, they're so friggin' overconfident. He's one of the leaders of their army down here. He's gonna know how this works.
Well, I think this is this like it might have been a good idea for Apophis to like think about microchipping his Jafar symbiotes, because it would have saved everyone a lot of trouble with this whole case of mistaken identity. Could have been to be like, I have this symbiote, it's from this guy, and then Apophis could scan and be like, no, it's not.
Look how proud
and
he is.
We're about to see in a second the little Easter egg in the window reflection of the PD Peter DeLuise.
Yeah, I loved it because I didn't pay attention to who was directing this episode at the time, because obviously I was a kid, but I just remember seeing PD and being like, oh, I know that.
So, you did?
Yeah. Because I saw some behind the scenes stuff, so I knew who Peter DeLuise was, but I didn't actually read the stuff because I'm obviously watching the show. So when the names come up, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, PD.
It's just so obvious.
I love how everyone has their moment with each other. It illustrates just how much the characters have continued to grow and evolve over the seasons.
Speaking of religion, actually, and religious beliefs, I think that obviously military people, especially in the States, I think tend to be, Christian. And so like, especially for like Hammond, being like, from Texas and just having that kind of like traditional upbringing. And he always says Godspeed to SG1 when they go.
Yes.
And so like Hammond is obviously firmly like a Christian. And the fact that he's seen all this and been through all this and, most likely still had faith till the end is just another indicator of just another person who's probably religious.
So Hammond just mentioned Junior's age, I think, which might be the first time that we've heard the timeline for Junior's maturity as well, because he said 4 to 5 years.
Oof. This is a sad moment. This is a really great representation of just all the times, like, I think about all the times Teal'c, like, got home, got into bed, and then, like, had, like, nightmares about all the bad stuff he had to do. Like, no wonder in Korai, he was like, yeah, kill me, I deserve it.
Yeah, I've done far worse, he says. And Braytak admits, I've done things for I'll never be able to forgive myself. So that's the price of paying for the position that you're in.
Yeah, so there's no indication of how much time has passed between those two events.
That's a fair point.
I mean, the only measure of time that we kind of have is that the last time these two had a conversation, she wasn't pregnant and now she's pregnant. So at the very least,
conversation
it's
was
like
so much before though. It was so
exactly. So it's like it's really hard to tell. That's the only indicator that we have of any passing in time.
I feel like Apophis wouldn't have let that like planet stay unscathed for very long. So I feel like Teal'c in a moment of panic like couldn't sleep every night and was like, no, I got to kill that guy. I got to get him, because if not, I'm gonna get found out.
It's a fair point.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I'd be stressed. I'd be like, oh, gotta kill him, but I don't want to because he's a good guy. Oh, this is when he comes running in with his lovely new forehead.
Like he's like a little child, really excited that he's like won some sort of prestigious award or something.
Yeah, yep. It's not an award you want, bro.
Nope.
No. It's also a nightmare to cover up. So, you know, a black tattoo is a lot easier to cover up. Because you can just do something else over it. There's gold, unless you want to put more molten gold on your head.
Yeah, you can't cover up that with a good concealer.
No, just a hat.
If
only it was slightly higher up so that the hat wouldn't have to be so far down.
So this shows they've evolved in their, honesty with one another.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Braytak's no longer just talking in like, sneaky ways.
Sneaky ways.
Yeah.
So, I have a question. So, what role do you think Braytak assumed after Tilk took over as First Prime? Like, assuming that there was like a transitional period. Yeah. So, considering he was like still associated with Apophis until like the Serpent's Lair at least.
Yep.
Could he have been acting as like some sort of free agent, maybe tasked with recruiting and training Jafar?
Well, we know that once Chlorel came about, he was basically put in charge of Chlorel's forces. So I think he was, kind of a free agent
like
within
advisory.
the forces.
Yeah.
Because Apophis has a civilization on Chulak. You saw all the sub-Goa'uld that he was responsible for, including Zapakna.
Yes.
So I'm sure there are a lot of roles for them to take on.
So Braytak saw it as his duty to mitigate Apophis's wrath and subtly influence his decisions. So aiming to bring about sort of some measure of good from the evil. So totally off topic, but I swear I have a point. So to me, it kind of reminds me of a line from My Big Fat Greek Wedding where Maria tells Tula that while the man may be the head of the house, the woman is the neck, and she can turn the head any way she wants. So similarly, Braytak considered himself like the one who could steer Apophis's action, much like the neck controls the head.
Have you seen Macbeth? I mean, come on.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. So I was actually talking about the movie yesterday. I love that. And Aunt Vula is my favorite character.
I know, mine too.
This is a great retcon.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time that we learn that Braytak was actually there when, Tilk turned against Apophis like a proud papa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uriasor said probably was like first prime of Chlorel for a smidge. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Maybe,
he was put in charge, so makes sense. Yeah, but you're only one. And Teal'c, so. Love it.
Yeah.
This is interesting here that Braytak dismisses them.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. He sees them as like kind of weak.
This is not going to work. And Teal'c's like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to run for the fences.
I mean, the thing is, SG1 are like the underdogs of the universe. You know? Oh, guys, it's happening. I'm so excited.
Oh, man.
So honestly,
it's the line.
So good.
We're also about to get some very majestic running from Braytak wearing a cape.
Oh,
so running just looks so much better when you're wearing a cape.
It does.
And the fastest flashback scene, I think, in the entire series.
Yes.
It is an intense
They do like
flashback.
50 shots.
Yeah, they do.
Something crazy.
I remember
never
seeing
counted
it
It's
for
really
the first
good.
time.
I love how
thinking,
it's
like,
punctuated as well with like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. Just that I hadn't seen so many of the episodes where Teal'c was doing stuff. So I remember being like, "What's that one? What's that one? What's that one?"
Yeah.
So I wanted to show my boyfriend because I was like, I wanted him to have the same reaction of what's all that. I want to see this journey these characters are going to go on. So, and now he just watches it without me all the time. So that's great because I'm busy sometimes. I love the way that he can't choose yet because he's reliving Children of the Gods. Oh,
well,
so good.
there's like it's a choice, and then this is also a choice. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yep. This was the pivotal moment.
Gold. So excited.
Dan Shea is standing in one of those costumes.
He is.
I did not know. Or I forgot.
Oh, this is so
Tony
good.
would have been spitting right in his face.
Yeah.
I mean, Christopher Judge gets spat on so much in this show that I think he's just used to it.
Terrell's great.
Yeah.
She's very patient considering.
This is such a good episode because everyone's just in the room together.
Everyone's great.
Got
Don's great. Yeah.
In Teal'c's journey. Like, it's just one of these episodes where it feels like they're all a team, even though it is just Christopher's episode, but it's not. It's their episode of like how it's why they're friends and it's why they're alive today is because Teal'c made this decision. Teal'c's the real MVP of this show, and this is one of the episodes that really acknowledges that. Can't wait to get to Arc of Truth and, you know, Unending. And witness all that. Oh, so excited. I'm turning my volume up. I'm so excited.
Enjoy.
Oh, he's going to say the line, guys. I'm getting all emotional again. Oh, I got goosebumps.
Yeah, when I was rewatching it yesterday for my notes, I got teary.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, this is such an emotional moment for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here we go. Oh, I was holding my breath during that whole sequence.
So was I.
Gecko Fett said, this also gives me goosebumps. Yuris Tosh said SG1 MacGyvered their way through the universe.
Yes. So Teal'c has just become the first Jafar to survive the rite of Malsharan under Braytak's guidance out of 3 attempts.
Oof.
But I am confident the others died free.
Yes. Well,
yes,
there's
that's
at least that, I guess.
Yeah.
Now get that man some Salisbury steak because that's his favorite.
That's it.
Sorry,
I'm not crazy about it, but okay.
Yeah. So I was reading through the Reddit comments again for this episode, and one person said that they felt it was a little too convenient how quickly Teal'c was allowed back into SG1 after this brainwashing, given his earlier deceptive behavior. So the rapid resolution, they said, and gained trust seemed implausible, leaving the viewer dissatisfied with the ending and questioning Teal'c's reliability. And they were also disappointed with the direction of Teal'c's character development in this episode. But there was another comment from someone who praised the episode as a masterpiece and highlighted the emotional impact of the flash of images that we just saw at the end. And they felt deeply invested in Teal'c's arc and commended the episode's editing, and they believed it deserved more recognition than it receives.
I think Braytak sells it.
Yeah.
If
it wasn't for Braytak being there, you wouldn't believe that what Teal'c said.
You'd never believe it again. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think you said in one of your interviews with Joe Malozzi that the actors eat it up.
Yes.
They just have some fantastic scenes together.
It's just such a good episode.
They do really make this episode what it is.
It's so just well written that, like, there's a reason I chose this as the episode to show my boyfriend who I was trying to get invested into Stargate. I just thought, what episode perfectly captures SG1's chemistry, the love they have for each other, the connection, the strength of Teal'c, the Gould, the type of manipulation that they show. I was just like, there's one way I'm going to show my boyfriend this show is good, and it's going to be this. And he loved it. Like, it made him go back and watch everything, you know, and that goes to show how great it is. I think it's one of the best episodes that Stargate has to offer. So,
thanks for watching Threshold with us.